shit, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot, they like to claim leadership, they like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority, they don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know that it's golden in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settle. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and know boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the problem. Step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pants through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby so belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
See, y'all think it's just about us in here, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so we passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turning the coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here got killed? How many of our sisters out here gotta heal? How many more caps gotta get peeled? We beef with each other so quick to pull the steel. George Zimmerman still alive and well. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Feel. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. Feel. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. Chill. Yo, chill.
industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems. It includes human rights violations, the death penalty, slave labor, policing, courts, the media, political prisoners, and the elimination of dissent.
They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. I might start me a fucking riot. Slave rebellion, no compliance. They just want us to die in silence. They murder minds like they got a license. I pray for the coronavirus to kill all of these violent tyrants. They prey on us like they poaching lions. World War III's on the horizon. Black and Hispanics form alliance. From the west coast to the islands, this pressure is making diamonds. They go waking sleeping giants. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. But feel.
Nigga, did you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter? I like this little nigga.
One West, 12 tribes, UPK. Yeah. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. Ever since a nigga was young, I knew what I wanted. Knew that we could either be hunters or with the hunted. Meaning only choice was the predators or the prey. Showed this man wherever I was, but I didn't play. Then I started spitting that fire to every stage. Rap gave a little bit of buzz, but it didn't stay. Then I started hustling, getting at some bread. I always went broke, making sure that my niggas fed. But then I looked for loyalty, niggas, they wasn't there. The same that I shed blood for, and it wasn't fair. But fuck it though, turn they back on a real nigga. It's when I found UPK and I'm still with them. Trill with them, cause I've been in the field with them. Fringed up garments, rocking the shield with them. I never turn traitor, I never let my colors fly. Never get my brother's book. I ain't like that other guy, nothing like them funny groups. They just better get in line. If you in the middle, you confused, you should pick a side. Me, I must stay loyal to the king till the day I die. I am One West, head beating in my chest. Fuck all the rest, we stayed, y'all left. Suckers ran scared, had to clean up y'all mess. That's why we took over, I can see that y'all stressed. We ain't got time to worry about no hater. My life is like a movie, should come with a narrator. They gather data, they wanna see us assimilated. Marching through the streets, know we coming, you hear our cadence. All you smell is Henny and frankincense is the fragrance. Cause I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. My squad is forever. It's forever. Squad is forever. When a nigga in this mode like I get so hyped, shining blinding like a strobe light. I'm my only calm, so I battle me back and forth nights like a bullfight. I see red charge and destroy Mike. Gave me foresight, so I know that winning the war might have them all tight. Fuck they feelings, cause they the soft type. I was always taught never turn your back on your brothers. Take on any enemy, know the strength in these numbers. UPK official, and ain't no coward among us. Don't make me go and bang with them sticks like I'm a drummer. How y'all gonna run with the style that we invented? You always talk the war was wild, but you never in it. All that coulda, shoulda, woulda. I see how you try to spin it. The way my soldiers move out, you think that we got evicted. It's One West in the building, we owning it while you renting. Lyrical exercise in the booth is my Planet Fitness. Words move you like calisthenics. Bars heavy, so when I bench it, I'm building up a hardcore. I flex when I'm finished. And right after a light workout, it's back to business. Group sick of UPK, cause we the illest. I got one question, will they ever stop hating? Waiting on this war so long, I'm salivating. Niggas turn bitch so strong, I call her Caitlyn. I get the green light, let's go, no hesitation. Y'all just been holding our spot like reservations. Now we back to work while you suckers still on vacation. Mixtape singles and even collaborations. They smiling in the face, but I know I see aggravation. You ain't got to hide it though, you fucking mighty cone. UPK bringing that heat, you know the fire's on. It's One West. Cause I'm a one West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I ride for those letters, the squad is forever. One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I ride for those letters, the squad is forever. It's forever. The squad is forever.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Rockin' this shit. Yeah. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Go ahead. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. Go ahead. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead. This shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Beach. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm on my grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'm gonna back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas, we eatin'. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the sweet. They all do the street. The nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
One West is who raised, son. That's where I came from. That is my A1s. I'm talking day one. Rest of these niggas out here is just fake, son. Look, you can hate, son. You cannot take, son. I've been in every hood out of my state, son. Out in these streets, I'm steady blazing. Looking to cut a nigga like I'm Jason. I am the one. This is the Matrix. Going so hard that they think I'm an agent. Going so hard that they said I'm a Mason. These are the facts, though. I'm just amazing. There is no other way that I could state them. I earn my spot, they'll never be vacant. These niggas lazy. They got complacent. They wanna level these fucking Caucasians. How the fuck we gonna rebuild our nation? You niggas feminine, go get some makeup. Sorry, but my love is only for Jacob. We had some hard days, we learned some hard ways. Always always. Just know that I pray that we get it out the dust. Only thing that I trust, knowing that my niggas gon' bust. That's dumbing up the rush, thinking that you won't get touched. Fuck when my brother get crushed, been through too much. Always come through in the clutch. Nigga just do what it does, fuck you thought shit was. 'Cause nigga it wasn't. Know that I do this a dozen. Always kept it 100. Niggas know I never stunning. And I keep shit running, even on the days when the pain keep coming, or a nigga fucked up and he feel like numbing. Show goes on, I just keep on drumming my fate. Even on the days I wanna break, saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake, even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
Dark days with no night vision, that's why my heart is a cave and there's ice in it. Don't even trust niggas no more, Lord is my witness. Me and these niggas ain't the same, it's a slight difference. Thought a nigga had my back, now it's a knife in it. But now I'm back at the back like it's the ninth inning. Still got the backpack packed in the back of the camp van, taking any given chance to blaze on the white man. Son of Benjamin, born on the right hand, never losing grip, I understand who I am. Met a man to show me the right path, now I'm rooted in the truth, to rule is my plan. And I can never lose sight like an exam. Sharp as iron, I was forged by fire, man. In the circle of life, how could I tell you, man? I was undesired, had no one, and then I met these men and it changed how I'm living. Their words was convicting, called that a life sentence. Now I need a witness, but no, I'm not Christian. My faith in these scriptures, man, not no religion, man. It's like Tazab, and I'm with my brother Katazab. Man, you niggas too sweet like baklava. Niggas better not make a nigga bring them choppers out. Better pray for your health like the doctors out. Just be faithful, one day you'll be thankful. Wonder why they hateful. Luckily I got angels. I'm so thankful. Yes, I'm so thankful. Used to be ashamed, and even before I
still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake, even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Alright, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah brought the thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Allah Thumb Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. This is the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commander Jimmy Yahan. We're coming to you live right now from Twin Cities, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Minnesota on the Kodash Zion. It's a Tuesday Brotherhood class. So some of the topics that we're going to get into today, you know, with the controversy that spilled all over social media, that got everybody on both sides of the fence up in arms, up in defense. It's a good point to build off of because of the attention that it brings to the truth. Right. Sooner or later, despite how they might try to clash against it, everybody's gonna have to contest with the truth. Everybody's gonna have to come face the UPK and the Commanding General Yohana. Everybody. It don't matter what organization, what belief system you got. Before the Most High send Yahweh Shah back, as this kingdom is being rebuilt, as the nation of Israel is being reestablished, you're gonna have to deal with Commanding General Yohana and the UPK.
That's right.
Sorry for you. I don't know what to tell you. It's that's what this thing is. It's like, so with that being said, I mean, let's take a look at the times. It's like one thing I was gonna Google up real quick. Make sure that we got one. How many murders? And we've been warning y'all about this for years. For years. We've been warning y'all about this stuff. And it's nothing that we don't know, even as a collective in America, that holidays breed murder and corruption and suicide and homicide and kidnapping and theft. It breeds crime. And especially if you look at the holidays that they promoting, if you look at the origin story of those holidays, you'll see the roots. You'll see how it's bloody. You'll see how it's this. I mean, the disgust in it. What they did to create Valentine's Day, that ain't right. Ain't nothing normal and natural about that. Halloween, you know how many shootings just happened during Halloween? Just that one day, as if we ain't got enough shootings happening already for no reason. You get a Halloween party started. How many women got raped? How many men and women got drugged, taken advantage of, OD'd, got murdered, got robbed, just on Halloween parties. It wasn't too much different for Thanksgiving. And again, you got a lot of people out there that don't recognize that what they're celebrating is the death and the genocide and the crimes committed against Gad, against Israelites, against North, Central, South American blacks and Indians. They don't understand it that Thanksgiving is the murder of a specific group of people and their celebration of their conquest. It's not their celebration over a harvest. It's like I was going to say something different, but it's not the celebration over a dinner party. Right. They didn't set up. It wasn't a tea party. It wasn't breaking bread. It was breaking bad. It was breaking bad all over the place. Bars. So lock you to the minimum. Bars. And they pass it off. They pass it off. They just made over, I think it was so like I just looked this up. I think it was about $9 trillion that America had made off of Thanksgiving across the board. Yeah, this year. Just for this Thanksgiving, there was like 400 million turkeys put to death in remembrance of the Pilgrims' conquest of murder over the Native American Indians.
Right. If I may, a lot of people don't understand that holidays is not about. Okay, holidays is really more about the money than it's the whole tradition, family, and things of that sort. Because you have a holiday that's known for just being a drunkard, and it's called St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
March 17th.
Right.
You have a whole holiday about Halloween, which is about ghouls and ghosts and all the fictional things that is not true or real. You feel me? Now, all the stuff that seems to be evil, they still celebrate it. You know what I mean? Christmas, you have a fictional story about a white man who is coming down someone's chimney. Everybody ain't got chimneys.
Right. Gun.
But also too, there's horror stories behind every single holiday.
Every.
Valentine's Day is based on LGBT. If you do not actually understand the history behind that, Janus, New Year's, that's coming up.
Yep.
There's wicked history behind even that. So all the holidays that are celebrated in America, it has wicked history behind it. Also, too, I'll give you a better one. November 11th, Veterans Day. Veterans Day, it doesn't truly honor the veterans, because there are veterans who are either dead. If they are alive, they are missing an arm, a leg, a limb. They do not have the support that they was promised, and they're suffering. Happy Veterans Day.
Yep.
Like, damn. That's terrible.
And you got it's like just to kind of chime in off that, they got like on the reservation, on the Menominee reservation, they've got a whole, like native, like Menominee reservation veterans kind of acknowledgement because of all the brothers that had stepped into the military on behalf of America. They're still not recognized.
Yeah. If I may slide, in Minnesota, when you're on the train and when you're on the train and you're on your way to Mall of America, there's a stop. It's called VA Medical something.
Yeah, kind of.
That when you look outside and you're passing through VA Medical something, right? That whole strip, you see nothing but tombstones. Yeah. And that's for the veterans. And still they're not respected. Still they just, and I would say this. Our oppressor is so much the devil that the Bible speaks of, he don't even honor his own people.
Right. Yeah.
Like, goddamn. Yeah. He don't even honor his own people.
They don't care about nothing. Man.
So imagine the racism between Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, or just any other race of people, but even our oppressor, who we know is the devil that the Bible speaks of, he don't have no honor for his own.
Right.
So why should we honor Veterans Day? And especially too, this month alone, they came out with the documentary on Netflix about the sister who was Hispanic, who they said that she committed suicide, but she had got raped and killed. It's a famous story back in maybe the early 2000s.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Horrible story. Horrible story.
But now stories like this has been happening in the last couple of months.
Yeah, that wasn't the first one.
Yeah. If you've been on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, any sort of social media, recently, so-called Black Hispanic Native Indian just died the same way, and made a video and said it was a sister. She made a video and said, "I'm making this video to say that hey, I did not kill myself. I did not commit suicide. This is what's going on, and if this does happen, do this and do that." And she talked to her family beforehand, and she ends up dead.
And they found evidence of rape, abuse, and then bullet wounds on her. Like, if you committing suicide with a gun, you're not gonna go bop 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 bop
exactly.
bop.
That's my point.
You're gonna go plot like one of them.
Yeah.
They found evidence. The coroner's office found evidence.
Acid or something.
Yeah, dumped on her body to try to get rid of the DNA, the forensic evidence.
If you got acid on your body, you're not gonna be alive.
That ain't suicide. That ain't suicide.
Yeah, like
even after the fact. So like I could almost understand to the point, like after all of that happened to you, now you want to off yourself because of the suffering that you're going through. I can get that to a point.
But it doesn't add up.
It don't.
It doesn't add up at all.
The forensic evidence don't add up, and that's according to the government. The same people that tell you what anything else is. The same people that tell you that we are a terrorist organization.
Right. Yeah.
Them same people gonna tell you that the forensic evidence don't add up, that sister was that sister committed suicide. It adds up that she was murdered.
Right.
Then nobody go to jail.
And then the time frame doesn't have that.
Then nobody go to jail.
You know what? I want to revisit this conversation.
I don't want to.
I want to watch this definitely.
There's so many instances like this. So the conversation that we're having this morning with that brother.
Mike Brown, Trayvon.
So it's like the other brother who they had said was committing suicide with a chemical thing. I'm still waiting to hear back about so Captain Saka War Rick is a nurse in Salaki Cap. If should I?
No, it's fine. It's fine. She's the RN.
So Captain Saka War Rib is an RN in the emergency room in their respective hospital. A brother had come in, illegal immigrant. He had come in and they couldn't quite figure out what was going on with him at first. His tongue was swollen, throat swollen, organs. They couldn't see this stuff at first. His organs, they're decomposing like right before their very eyes inside his body. So by the time, from when it happened until when he had showed up at the hospital, it was done. It was done. And they try to write it off as a suicide. When in reality, because this brother coming over to the States, trying to make a better life and living conditions for his family, because he was a married man and he had children. So he brought, had his wife, survived by his wife and his children. And it's like, I ain't got no names on that, but survived by his wife and his children. And, just through the rigorous labor that they do, Issachar, man, that's a hard-working brother right there, man. World-renowned as a hard-working brother. And in the middle of them, busting ass, and got thirsty. He got thirsty. And he forgot that. So they needed certain chemicals to finish the job. And it was like a 75-gallon tank. That's a big tank. That's not something that you're just gonna move by hand. 75 gallons worth of like liquid. That's a heavy job. You need equipment for that, unless you're gonna disperse it into smaller vessels and use it as kind of as you go. So that's what their employer did. An Edomite. I don't know if that shocks anybody. I don't know if that's a big surprise. But an Edomite would employ these brothers under the table cash, for these illegal immigrants and all that. Dividing up that 75 gallons into smaller vessels. Empty soda bottles, empty water bottles. Refilling them with a chemical degreaser. Now, if anybody's ever worked in, especially in like the restaurant industry, you'll see that a lot there in construction crews. If you've ever gotten any of that stuff, any of them chemicals on your skin, it burns. It burns, and if you leave it there, it just burns worse, gets deeper, and it can be very hazardous to oneself. I was locked up with one brother, and we were cleaning the kitchen. And he had gotten a drop of some of that stuff in his ear, and then his ear damn near like exploded, like flamed out. And that was after a little bit of time, like even after he kind of cleaned it out. But because he couldn't clean it out properly because of the lack of like sanitary items that we were given that were provided for us, he couldn't properly clean it out. So his ear damn near blew up. You know what I'm saying? And so this brother, in the midst of him working, got thirsty. God forbid you get thirsty while you're working. And he reached for one of the bottles that he thought was the sodas that he already had previously and started drinking, and very shortly after, kind of felt different about it. He got brought to the hospital. They tried to sign it off as a suicide attempt, and the truth came out. That's the oppression that we living under as a people. That's the oppression. That didn't happen to me. That didn't happen to Adawan Maccabi. That didn't happen to Adawan Kadash or Tarap. Didn't happen to Chupa Kawan, but it happened to one of our brothers.
Right.
That's not to be ignored. What Kanye West has done, what Kyrie Irving has done, even though that brother kind of whatever, but at least he stood up for a moment. You know what I'm saying? At least he promoted some information that's heavy and necessary for the people to hear, despite if they want to hear it or not.
Right.
It's important for that information to get brought out. That the same things that happened to this brother, that happened on the slave ships, the transatlantic slave trade, didn't happen to us as individuals. It happened to our people.
That's right.
But them brothers actually took a moment to say, damn, what's the brother that note? The brother that note during the national anthem.
I had to say Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
The stance that he took by kneeling.
And he's still not.
He
purposely left and started his own business.
And he's better for it.
Right.
He's a better man for it. He's a stronger man for it.
That's right.
And in the face of that adversity and that pressure from outside influences, he stood up for his people.
That's right.
That's what this thing takes. Yeah. That's something that they don't do. It's like,
if I may, as far as I've seen, it's been years, and this is probably the only brother who hasn't backed down.
Right.
You feel me?
He didn't apologize.
He never apologized, and he stood on what he said. So you know the saying, I said what I said.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick said what he said, and he stood on what he said. And I think that, and honestly though, in the IHBK, it's a different world in a good way, of course, besides outside of the UPK, where you're just doing what everybody else is doing. You celebrate holidays, birthdays, you're smoking, you're getting high, you just living a life with no morals, right?
Yep. Outside of the UPK. Yep.
But for that brother, I don't know his everyday life, but I do know one thing. That was it was small but big for a person in the world to even make that step.
Right.
You feel me? Because a lot of people in the world, they don't like that. You know what I mean?
At all.
A lot of people will be like, "Oh, you're a traitor." Get back to the field.
They sure try to villainize him for it.
Yeah, so and I had a few conversations with people, as far as Colin Kaepernick, and I'm talking about Black and Hispanic people that I talked to. They sounded like oppressors.
Right.
It's like, well, he's only good for one thing, and I'm like, good for one thing, like good. Hey, you sound like a slave master, like good, right? And I'm just like, all right. I'm like, well, you definitely hate your own people, and you only want them to do one thing because it's entertainment when it comes to the whole sports thing. So it's like I see where your mind is at. I see where your heart is at, because the whole conversation is about setting up for Black people, but you want him back on the field.
Right.
Like, are you okay?
You know what I mean? Yep. To keep on running up and down the field.
Yeah, and that's it. And the fact that someone said that they just good for one thing is just like, that's terrible.
And we've got so much to offer.
Yes, and my question is, what if this is you, and this happened to you, and you were dead, and someone was trying to stand up and try to change something for you? Now, although our oppressors dealt with about speak stuff.
That's right.
And us marching and protesting is not going to change a damn thing.
Right.
But at least the effort. You feel me? Someone, giving a damn about you. You definitely love your oppressor more than you love your own people.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. But anyway, so far, I think that's the only brother or only Israelite that I know who is famous and has a status, who stands up, who stood up and still stands for their people.
Didn't renege.
Besides Kyrie Irving and Kanye West. Now Kanye West is still
he's doing it from like an MLK kind of position though. Like he's still with them.
A little shaky.
He says some powerful shit, but he's still with them.
I'll say this. I think the Most High was with him when he said what he said, but at the same time, I think things are still a little shaky.
Yeah.
He's still holding strong because although he's losing, you know, I mean, he's taking a lot of L's. It's what the society will say. He's taking a lot of L's as far as Adidas, this, that, and third. He got shit going on with Kim Kardashian,
right,
and his kids, things that sort. But so far, I think he's doing a good job. I just hope he don't compromise. Kyrie Irving, he's really avoiding the questions that's being asked. You feel me?
He got that Nick Cannon treatment, pretty much.
Yeah. So in a sense, he's trying to keep his job.
Yeah.
Which I do understand, but at the same time, it's like he's silently compromising.
Yep. It is definitely, it's understandable.
But I'm still with the brother as far as what he said because it's not a lie, and I know he still strongly believes in what he said. But at the same time, trying to keep his job, trying to keep his money.
And all he did was share a video, share a link to a video.
Yeah,
he didn't really say nothing about
he shared an Amazon link to a documentary. He was
that's it. And they done taxed that brother $500,000.
Yeah.
I had to make all these apologies.
Yeah, and
denounce the video.
Yeah, you said less than $1 million.
No, he had to pay like $500,000 to.
It was 500,000 Jewish community.
Yeah, kind of. As if they ain't got enough already.
Yeah.
As if they slumlord society hasn't already produced enough income for them.
Yeah, I mean,
rob a black man.
Teams is owned by Jewish.
Yeah.
So I mean,
they know.
The music industry. I might be missing something.
The Diamond District.
Industry, every downtown in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. is owned by the Jewish, and then the sports thing. Come on, man.
Believe it or not.
Also, too, television. So everything is being watched, and then they approve what they want on TV and what they don't want on TV. Now, of course, if you want a black or Hispanic person on TV, no sweat, but you have to put a little bit of stuff in there to where there's no truth and you're degrading them at the same time. Like, come on, man. Because our person is definitely gospel.
Kind of out of one kind. And it's not just in LA or Hollywood or New York. It's in Minnesota too.
Yeah.
It's in Wisconsin too.
Right.
It's in Illinois. It's in Indiana. It's in Michigan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can't pretend that they don't have the resources or the means to clean up the Flint, Michigan water issue or the Jackson, Mississippi water issue. As if they don't have that capability or the money or the resources to do that. They just don't have the gumption. They don't care about it because that's primarily affecting our communities, not theirs. If this was going down in Soho, best believe that water be cleaned up. If this is going down in Ukraine, best believe that water be cleaned up. In the middle of all of that, they still did not forget to hate some niggas. They didn't miss a beat. Again, we go over this all the time because it don't stop. It doesn't stop. This is a regular occurrence. And we've just, as a, I don't want to say as a people necessarily, because again, more and more of us are waking up to this reality and pushing back in the rightful way, in the proper way, which is again to just not do drugs, not be alcoholics, not be criminals, and we fight against their system, and they lose millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and they lose a lot of their influence over our people in our communities when we just don't do what they had influenced us to do. So this is why we got a Zephaniah 2:1 through 3. Gather together, it's like you gather yourselves together, yet gather together, O nation I desire. Verse 2. This is an important part too. And I'm gonna pull up another scripture to add to it. Actually, maybe two more. Zephaniah 2:1 is such a heavy point. There we go. Zephaniah 2:1 is such a heavy point because it at least gives us kind of a starting point that people don't want to. People are afraid. People are ashamed. People are intimidated by our oppressor to hold that line.
Right.
It's not meant for everybody. It's not meant for the women. It's not meant for the women because you got men here. So
Right.
this ain't for you, and this ain't nothing against the work that the sisters do. If y'all would have seen what them sisters did during occupation or Operation Reservation under Commander Johnny Hanna that we had the event that we held on November 18th on the Menominee Reservation in Keshena, Wisconsin. If y'all would have seen the work that them sisters put in, you know what I'm saying? Like it's we ain't putting them behind the curtains. They put in work too. They do a lot for this nation, for their people. Just they're not on the front lines in the same way that men are to be on the front lines. We're supposed to be that vanguard. We're supposed to be that gate, that protection. That's our job. We protect the work that they do. The same thing for the kids. You got a lot of kids out there too that like when we had these functions, they put in work too, man. Oh man. So like I'm just thinking about like Florida, I'm thinking about Houston when we had the Passovers out there in the past couple of years. The work that the kids were doing, on top of having fun, running around and getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? Like they put in work too. The women put in work too. The men, we put in work too. And our job is to hold the defensive, hold that line. So we're supposed to gather together, nation not desire. And we're supposed to do this, verse 2, before the decree bring forth. Now pay attention to this stuff. Before the day pass as the shaft, and that's like the like tinder in a fire. The embers that kind of blow away in the wind, during a fire. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, before we have to get judged as a nation again, because again, like this ain't the first time that it's kind of bringing this up. If you go through the book of Ezekiel and Psalms, man, and again, all the records that we have when the Lord had to punish us for the crimes that we had committed, the sins that we had committed, and for us turning our back on our power. Before we got to go through this again, gather together, O nation not desire. Before the decree bring forth, before the day passes the shaft, before the fierce anger, before the Lord's anger come upon you, verse 3, seek ye the Lord. There's another important part. All ye meek of the earth. So now everybody would just, like most people just stop right there. Right there. All ye meek of the earth. They just want to stop right there. Because, that should mean everybody on earth. That should mean everybody in their mouth. That should mean everybody is included. This is, hey, shalom to the brother. Shalom to the brother Kwan. To the truth, yeah. The oppressor is just rotten race of people. It's simple, It's they've laid their hand out. They've shown their hand, their cards, and that's just who they are. So now again, the scriptures are records telling us, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. That's the other half of it. Because they'll end at all ye meek of the earth, but it's specific to the all ye meek of the earth that it's talking to. Which that's a condition. Which, yeah, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which that's a condition. That's an amendment, more or less, into this whole clause that everybody wants to try to just apply to every, to the whole world. Because anybody can be meek, and it's talking about the earth, so that means everybody, because it said all earth. So I mean, it's got to be everybody, but it's specific, which have wrought his judgment. Which have wrought his judgment. Ain't what one people on the face of the earth that wrought the Lord's judgment. And we're going to get the precepts to back this up too. Just because other people have seen his judgment, have been destroyed by his judgment,
right,
does not mean that they're the people that they're the ones that are meek of the earth that have wrought his judgment, that are to seek righteousness. Because the Lord, the Lord judges spiders too. It's not that complicated. The Lord doesn't judge the whales,
right,
not because of crimes that they committed, but because of how would I say, it's like it kind of skipped my head for a second. The same way that blind man that Yahushua had came up to, and when the disciples were asking, like, who sinned, his parents or him? Because they were having a discussion about reincarnation at a point there too. But Yahushua had said, neither did he sin or slide. Neither did he sin or his parents, but this man was made blind from the birth to show the Lord's power.
right.
That's the same reason why all them whales gotta end up getting killed. So that we can show the difference. Because what's the scripture say? Like even the beasts or something like that of the field know who the devil is.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm saying like the ozone layer knows who the wicked on the earth is. They're meek also. They're all also. They're on the earth also. But again, this is specific. This is addressing a certain group of people. So verse 3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth. We're supposed to be doing this, gathering together, nation not desired, before all of this stuff has to happen. Before we got to see another crack baby getting born. Before we got to see another brother going to jail, 25 to life over a bag of weed, while some pedophile, rapist, child molester, Edomite gets 3 years of probation. They gave that brother 25 to life for like a dime bag of crack. And crack is a horrible thing. That's a horrible thing. That is against the Most High, absolutely. But there's sort of comparison on their level of judging, how they do things under their authority. That brother, that nigger, slacking for the term, but that nigger will get 25 to life for that dime bag of crack. But that devil, that Edomite, that honky, that cracker, he will get 3 years probation for not only sodomy, pedophilia, child molestation, rape. He gets 3 years probation. He gets to go home and serve out his time on probation for 3 years. But that brother gets 25 to life.
Right.
That's who we're dealing with. That's why there has to be that difference. That's why before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shaft, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, us, Israel, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, we need to gather together. Start talking about these issues that we face as a people. See what that common ground may be. Listen, April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina, the Passover happening, man.
That's right.
This is the Lord's Passover. You know what I'm saying? Like come on through. It's an open invitation. $200 per adult, 17 and up, per individual. You know, just to help the funding and keep things moving smooth and provide for everything that we're going to need to execute the Passover.
Right.
Even back in the day, you know, lambs weren't free. I don't know if anybody knows that about how, you know, raising lambs and livestock and all that stuff wasn't free. You got the Lord's Passover coming up. You got the Vegas cookout coming up too, right? At the end of December, I think 16, 17, 18, something like that. A few days. Whatever he said. So like, whatever I don't want to just said. But in December, we got the Vegas cookout.
Yeah. No. The Vegas cookout is the first week. So
In December.
Yeah, the 1st to the 4th.
1st through the 4th in December, Vegas cookout. If you're on the West Coast, West Side, pick it up. You know, link up with them. See how you can. If you can't make it there, maybe see how you can contribute to it.
Right.
We got Hanukkah coming up. That's at the end of December.
No. That's December 17th.
I should just let him talk.
Okay.
So like I'm getting all these dates wrong.
It's
December 17th. It's gonna rock for a week though.
Yeah, got it. So so Las Vegas is going to be December 1st
There we
to
go.
4th, and then the start date is for Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedication, is going to be December 17th. All right. As far as the end date, we'll give you more information a little bit later.
Kind. So stay in touch with the school near you. The websites are still under construction. You can still pay your tithes at isupk.com and or isupk.org. If you got the Zelle app, if you got the Cash app, however you may be able to connect with the school near you or the direct link for the school for the headquarters, you know, it's still available. Donations, pay your tithes. Otherwise, keeping up with the calendar dates and times of the events and high holy days, get in contact with the school near you.
That's right.
And again, we're set up all over the place. You'd be hard pressed to not find any of us.
Right.
Like it's almost to that point where you throw a stone in any direction, you're gonna hit a UPK. Like we're damn near there. So like it. So now in that same expression, Zephaniah 2:1, before it gets bad, you know what I'm saying? But before America turns into a lake of fire, gather together, a nation not desired.
Right.
You're gonna have that opportunity at the Las Vegas cookout. We had the opportunity at the Houston cookout. I think Tennessee held on, Oklahoma or something like that. The Midwest Fire Weekend. New York, we got the doors open 24/7.
Right.
Every day of the week, every day of the year. The phone lines don't close. Because we also, you know, we still in captivity. You know, like we work 9 to 5s. I'd say like 99% of us. We work 9 to 5 jobs.
Right.
And so some of the brothers that you might be trying to get a hold of, if they don't pick up that phone right away, no sweat.
Right.
Call back.
Right.
Leave a message. Call back. Text them. Make sure that they got your contact info.
That's right.
If you're dissatisfied with that, call a whole different school, a whole different UPK school. So like, just clarify that. Like if you're in New York and you ain't hearing back from somebody fast enough for your consideration, no sweat. Call Texas. Call LA. Call Minnesota.
Right.
Call Minneapolis and St. Paul. We'll get you connected with somebody, with whoever you're looking for. Ain't no excuse. You can't miss us.
That's right.
We won't miss you. Come on through, man. So before it gets bad, we're supposed to gather together.
That's right.
All ye meek of the earth that has wrought his judgment. So now that wrought his judgment. If you go to Psalms 147, for time's sake, we're just gonna skip down to 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Verse 20, he hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Right.
This is that criteria that we were talking about in Zephaniah 2 and 3. Because again, even though it talks, Zephaniah 2 and 2 and 3, even though it talks about the all ye meek of the earth, because you got the word all, you got the word earth. They have wrought his judgment, and you see other nations and people and insects and twigs being judged by the Most High. Everybody wants to think that this is an all-inclusive, just an open gate kind of concept, which it's not. And Psalms was written before Zephaniah.
That's
so
right.
Zephaniah knew. Zephaniah was, how would I say it? He was using like this criteria as the precept for his statement. He only said that based off of this, based off of these records, is why and how he was able to make that statement.
Right.
And for the people that know the truth, this is how we are able to understand what these brothers were talking about.
Right.
It's like,
if I may, it's like, so this whole thing about the Old Testament and the New Testament, right? Just understand that the Old Testament is the Old Covenant, the New Testament is the New Covenant. But at the same time, if you really pay attention, when I say pay attention, meaning when you study the Bible, not read the Bible, but
right.
study the Bible,
right.
you will see and understand fully how everything that was said in the Old Testament is said in the New Testament.
Yep.
A lot of people got this thing about how Christ made up his own sayings, his own rules and things of that sort.
Changed the doctrine and all that.
Right. Christ said the same thing that Moses and the people before him said. The people that was before him, he said it and just reiterated. He didn't change it. You feel me? He didn't change nothing up at all. It's just that you have to pay attention to the wording of what he said, because he's saying exactly what the people before him had said, the prophets and the priests had said before him. So, of course, he was all about the law. He was never against it. Now, a lot of people may think that it's different because of his choice of words.
Right.
He's saying exactly what Moses has said, what Joshua has said.
Yep.
All these people that was before him. Jeremiah has said, Isaiah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
But he's saying the same exact thing. There's a way to say something in order for a person to understand. But at the same time, they was trying to purposely kill Christ. Just like they're trying to kill Christ now. They're trying to kill his people right now as we speak. And they're doing it right now. And they're finding more ways to do it, more devices to do it. So that's what's going on right now. But anyways, it's a lot. My bad.
So we, hey, clap it up. Clap it up. That's a heavy ass point. That's a heavy ass point. And I think that segues perfectly into one of the other scriptures we're going to bring out. Because, all right, so gather together before the Lord's anger comes upon us.
Right.
And now we found out who that judgment was to.
Right.
Because he had only dealt with Jacob. He only dealt with Israel.
Right.
He didn't mess with the other nations like that. So now we have a duty to perform. So Luke, if you go into Luke chapter 19, and we're going to skip down to, we're going to start off at, I'm going to start off at 11 real quick. So Luke 19 and 11. And as they heard these things, because he was giving them a parable, like you just for time's sake, again, just to kind of recap, he was giving them a parable. You can read up before that. Start at Luke 19 and 1. Read down until you get to 11. And as they had heard these things, and as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was not to Jerusalem. So like they was on their way to Jerusalem, keeping the Passover. And because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. So now this is another thing that a lot of people get confused about because of their carnal expectations. Thinking that like this can be like an overnight thing. That just because you woke up to being in Israel, because you got all these nutcases on there on Clubhouse claiming that they Jesus Christ. Claiming that they Jesus Christ. Didn't do nothing for the people. You on, bro, you on Clubhouse. Nigga, you're on Clubhouse. I don't, damn, so like, I don't know how that's gonna, I don't know how else to say, how to sink that into people's skull, man. You on Clubhouse talking about you Jesus Christ. You talking about you the Savior. You're the anointed Savior. You're Hawashah Mashiach. You're the anointed Savior for the people. Come here to redeem Israel. You on Clubhouse. Crack cocaine still exists.
Right.
There's still babies in cages out there on the borders, man.
Right.
There's still boarding schools built up over, our so-called, promised, reservation and lands. Right. The Pope is still a thing. Yeah. One brother talking about like the work that he's doing is that he's Slaki. So he started a petition to dethrone the Pope.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
right.
I guess.
Right.
I mean, it's not gonna work out the best.
I mean, right. Yeah. You claiming you Jesus Christ, and your plan of action was to start a petition to dethrone the Pope.
Wait, are we talking about Pope Francis?
Kind of what kind?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Great plan.
Yeah.
Great plan.
We shall see how that goes.
And in the meantime, human trafficking is still going on.
Right.
Under the authority of that same Pope.
Exactly.
If you were Yahawashah Mashiach, the prophecy ain't that you were gonna start a petition against the Pope, or that you were gonna build a clubhouse room.
Right.
The prophecy was you're gonna come back and you're gonna take the kingdom back. You're gonna demolish our oppressors. You were gonna rip their authority from their hands, and you're gonna restore the nation of Israel. That's what the prophecy was about. That's what the prophecy was about. Not about a petition against the Pope. On Clubhouse, on social media. That ain't the move. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. Again, the same can be an overnight thing. Verse 12. Luke chapter 19, verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went too far. All right, yeah. Verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. He received that's what they did on Clubhouse, man. He tried to receive for himself a kingdom. So, like, that's a different brother, sis. That's a completely different brother. There's like 4 or 5 of them right now that are out there on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, and primarily on Clubhouse, that are making these claims. But it was not that brother. I know you talking about. No, that brother. We ain't heard from him in a minute. Lord be with them and their families. At the end of the day, they still brothers. I think some of them may or may not be, but for the ones that are, Lord be with them and their families, and the Lord allow they'll wake up from that stupor, because it's a dangerous thing. But no, it's not that brother from Mississippi. Ain't nobody calling on Tyrone.
Right.
So again, this is what they do in verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. So these noblemen, like these were like, again, people that got a chip on their shoulder, respected and regarded as some type of importance in the communities. They went to go receive for himself a kingdom and to return. So that is more or less kind of what John the Baptist had done, because he had his own disciples. So he went to kind of go build his own thing to not he didn't expressly try to contest Yahushua, but he also didn't follow suit. John the Baptist was not in the truth.
Right.
He went to go build for himself a kingdom, and he didn't return. So all right. So verse 12, he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went to a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. So now also that far country, this also alluding to well, not I won't say alluding to, but this is talking about like the endeavors that were taken up in different nations outside of Israel.
Since that said, I think he got blocked because they play too much. We're working on saving our people and ain't got the time to play like that.
We got blocked?
No.
Okay. Man, maybe he's busy. Maybe his hands are wrapped trying to fix Jacksonville.
Right.
And their water crisis. Maybe he's actually putting himself to work. Maybe he's signing up or filling out a petition to fix the water in Jackson, Mississippi. I don't know. Can't answer for that, but I can answer for Kudazayano. Right. I can answer for Minnesota. I can answer. It's like we can answer for these brothers. I can't say what that man was doing. And as entertaining as the interactions were with that brother on Cross the Line Radio, it's still kind of in a sense heartbreaking to see our people that deranged and that far off. And we don't want to poke fun at one another for mental illness. It's a serious issue.
Right.
That's why we have counselors. That's why we have counseling.
That's right.
Phone lines open all day.
That's right.
If you know anybody that needs counseling for any of these kind of problems, hit the lines. The lines are open.
If I may select, our phone number is actually on the screen.
On the bottom here, 612-524-9544. That's Twin Cities, Minnesota, man. You can definitely hit us up. Again, otherwise, throw a stone in any direction, you'll find a UPK school anywhere. Somebody would have heard about it. You might hit the wrong person. They'll be like, no, yeah, UPK over there. It's a serious issue. It should be addressed. Again, Lord be with that brother and his family. And the door's open. The door's open. The ringers are on. It's come on back home, man. But those are the type of actions that people are taking, trying to receive for himself a kingdom, not the kingdom of the Lord, but any kingdom will do. So I mean, your celebrities, your entertainers, your athletes that have accrued so much money and prosperity and respect and recognition from everybody else, except I don't want to even say except for their own, but just that vainglory. That's the kingdom that they seeking, because they get some type of authority, they get influence. I don't want to say even necessarily authority, because if our oppressor, again, when they want to crack that whip, it's that easy. All of a sudden, them $100 million that he was making playing football or basketball don't mean nothing.
Right.
Don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. But you got some influence over some people that don't have your wealth or your financial stability, corporate backing, political support. That's the kingdom that they built. And then they try to return with that, like, hey, I done sold my soul to the devil. I wore a dress, but they gave me $100 million for wearing this dress. You know, I had to step into a room with this Jewish record label owner, and you know, I don't want to tell you all the details, but like I made like, you know, $1 trillion off of it. You know, I'll tell you that much. That's the kingdom that they returned with. Verse 13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. That was the order. So now if you read beyond that, you're gonna see how, and again, this is just a parable, but you're gonna see the examples of how serious they took that mission. Because it said, occupy until I come. Because you had all these other brothers that thought that the kingdom of heaven was going to come overnight. It was going to like magically, immediately appear. That's not how this works. So these brothers that he put to work, that he commissioned for this job, for this office, as the priests and prophets of the Lord, the work that he put them to, he said, occupy till I come. So again, you got, all right, so for the first one, just for example, then came the first saying, Lord, that pound hath gained 10 pounds. So, you know, he flipped that. He flipped that. He took that gift. He took that message. And oh man, it's, you can compare this to, again, what Commanding General Yana had done, and the generals with him, and the captains that they raised. Captain Malquat of the UPK in the Midwest, over Chicago, over the whole Midwest.
That's right.
You can see what he did with that 1 pound. You can see what he did in the Midwest with that 1 pound. You know what I'm saying? He turned that into 10 pounds. He turned that into 100 pounds. He occupies. He did, you know, this ain't something that he did yesterday. It's something he's doing right now. He's occupying. He's flipping that pound that was given to him, which is symbolic for the authority and the responsibility given to these men that the Lord had commissioned to occupy until he comes back. Yeah, you hear the story about the second one. And the second came in verse 18. And the second came saying, Lord, that pound had to gain 5 pounds. And he's still putting work. He's still putting work. He still produced something. He still brought back some fruit. He still, you know, he sowed the land and he harvested that land. He came back with a profit. It was only 5 compared to the 10 from the first brother. But look at what that had contributed to. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the classes, all the programs, all of the events that we hold. That 10 pounds, what them 5 pounds had contributed to. Even so verse 19, and he said likewise to him, or sorry, verse 16, that pound had gained 10 pounds. Verse 17, just kind of skip down to the end. Have thou authority over 10 cities. Verse 18, that pound hath gained 5 pounds. Verse 19, be thou also over 5 cities. And another, verse 20, came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. It's like a shirt.
Is that Luke?
This is Luke 19.
Yeah, God, that's what. If I make good precept.
And this is what we're experiencing right here, right now. This is the thing that your antichrist, Christs, you know, that should be emphasized, the plurality of it, because it ain't just one dude that's gonna come and be like, oh, I'm Jesus, I'm God. It's going to be many of them, because even at that time, when Yahushua had spoken, he said there's going to be antichrist. There's going to be multiple. There's going to be plural. There's going to be a whole thing set up. That whole kingdom that they were building. Psychic.
If I may, it's not a person.
That ain't one.
It's a spirit.
It just kind of come.
That's why they say it's multiple people, or not people. It's like it's going to be multiple antichrists, but it's not an actual person.
Kind of come.
So it's definitely a spirit.
It's the institutions that they built. It's the influence that they hold.
Right.
It ain't just one dude. It ain't just the 666. It ain't just that top 1%.
Correct.
Because your Jeffrey Dahmers and your Columbine school shooters, they part of that too.
Right.
They're not the 1%.
Right.
They're not the elite, on the earth with all them trillions and millions and gazillions of dollars and influence. They were just some sodomites and murderers. But their way of life, the influence that they were under, and what they had provided, that was the Antichrist. Because that was against the teachings of Yahushua. You ain't supposed to eat nobody. You ain't supposed to be a sodomite. You ain't supposed to be a cannibal. You ain't supposed to be a murderer. Though those 3 individuals, because I think there was 2 Columbine school shooters. I think it was just 2 of them. But then you had Jeffrey Dahmer on top of it. Just between those 3, you broke damn near all the laws. That's Antichrist. So now, in verse 20, another came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. You kept it to yourself. You kept it to yourself. When this is supposed to be spread all over. This isn't just yours. This is every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. This belongs to us. You don't get to keep this to yourself. This is ours. This kingdom is ours. This is my daughter's, this is my wife's, this is my brother's, just as much as it is mine. Who the hell would I be to keep that to myself and not give this to the people that I say I love? Like, how dare you step in the way of that? How dare you keep this from your kids, from your family, from the people that you love? And like I get it, like they're gonna hate the shit out of you. You're gonna lose like 90% of them. They're gonna turn their backs on you. But this is for them also. Instead, you got some people that are gonna keep it laid up in a napkin, because verse 21. Because for I fear thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou did not sow. Slack. That old English can be weird. Completely butchered that. Slack to the middle. But so verse 21. So like, dude keeping this to himself in some fear that. Even if you try to use the rationale that, because we don't cast our pearls into swine.
Right.
And a dog returned to his vomit.
That's right.
Even if you try to use that as your excuse as to why you kept this only to yourself, you didn't share this with the rest of the people. That's not what you were supposed to do. That was not the order that you were given. Occupy. Where occupy till I come. Occupy till I come.
That's right.
Verse 15, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded his servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. He was not ordered to keep it in a napkin. They were ordered to see how much they can gain by their trading, by their work, by the work that they put in. So that one brother had that 1 pound, came back with 10. Another brother had that 1 pound, came back with 5.
Right.
Another brother just kept it in a napkin and held it from everybody else. When we were ordered and commanded to see what we would gain by trading, by sharing this with the people that it belongs to. That's the kingdom. That kingdom is that kingdom is Eric Garner's. That kingdom is Trayvon Martin's. The kingdom is George Floyd's. That's their kingdom too. Despite the things that the media had put forth to try to stain their names and their reputations, this kingdom is theirs. It's their children's. It's their brothers. It's their sisters. This belongs to Israel. This is our kingdom. Like you got La Cosa Nostra. I think in English that translates to like this thing of ours for the Italians. That's their thing, and people respect that because they keep that amongst themselves, and they've got a pride about it. They've got they're dutiful to keep that to themselves. We need to hold this in the same regards because this is ours. So that brotherhood that we talk about, that sisterhood that we talk about, this is the end game. This is what we're looking to accomplish.
Right.
This is what we are protecting and occupying until Yahushua come back.
That's right.
This is the kingdom that we build.
That's right.
So for that 1 pound, Commander General Yohana came back with tens and dozens. It's like what you. That's the work that they put.
That's right.
That's the work that they put. That's what this is supposed to be talking about. Because he only showed his word. Sorry. I'll take it. So now with all the different influences, all the different influences, all the different political parties, all the different socioeconomic agendas, all the freedom and peace and love that everybody pretends to talk about, because they don't really mean it. They don't really mean that what they're talking about. But it sounds good. It sounds real good. It sounds so good to the point where they've developed committees for it, and they've sequestered like whole budgets for them. For what? I said what? I don't want to. Do we got some? I'm a grown ass man. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Water is a better.
I never tried that, but I'll try it.
That pickle juice. I know you wasn't feeling it. You wasn't feeling it that one day. I don't want to select your side one. It works. It works. It works. Okay. It works. Yeah. This isn't yours to hold under a napkin, to slap under your bed, to bury in the ground until you think it's the appropriate time to reveal it to the people. There was one brother we had that supposedly because of his older brother, like he knew he was an Israelite, way before any of us. Way before, like a good solid decade at least before I found out that I was an Israelite. He knew that he was an Israelite. But his brother never wanted to teach him the language because he didn't think that he was ready for it. That's not your call to make. You don't get to decide that. some other things I want to say about it. Just you'll never know what this is from the outside looking in until you come into the truth, until you come back home and you live it, you experience it, you see it for yourself. Then maybe you'll understand why we make all these very bold and authoritative claims as to why it is only ever going to be one West. There's only one truth, one faith, one baptism, one doctrine. It's only one West. That's it. So that until Yahushua come back. That's it. This is the dividing line. Like we're not trying to claim any like royalties or fake some laurels that again it's trying to find the right words to say it without being vulgar. We don't wear matching outfits. And like a lot of them, some of them that are not even a year old. In Milwaukee, there's an organization. You got one organization that wears purple and gold tassels, not fringes, mind you. They wear gold tassels on their shirt, on their t-shirts. That's their garments. All of a sudden now, you got another organization that wears teal. Their color of choice was teal. Teal. I would say teal. Maybe it's like a blue green. Maybe it's a green blue. I don't know the technical maybe term for it, but I can't remember. Some thunder or something like that.
Oh,
something like that. I think. I can't remember their exact name, but
I see. Okay.
But that was their color of choice. Again, on their t-shirts with their tassels. You also got another organization out there that wears sackcloth. Just they got them making a bunch of mashed potatoes and they emptied out the bag and they cut up at the end of it to throw some fringes on there and slapped it over their heads, or like they had an old bed sheet that looked like it was worn and had been through some life experiences, so it's got a like a heavy spirit to it. That bed sheet was an old soul, so they slapped some cut some fringes into that. And I seen some niggas that had a garment up to here. They had belly fringes. Their garment ended right here, and then they had the fringes like this, and the dude was wearing like a wife beater underneath. And that was it. And then he had like some sweatpants on and his running shoes, his jogging shoes and shit. And he was like chewing like a stick of like cinnamon stick. It was very uncomfortable.
I damn when I showed up the day.
It was some weird. It was after. This was in Chicago. It was in Chicago. It was after we started breaking down camp, and then these brothers that were across the street the whole time came back over to us, and dude tried talking all this like big shit, like martial arts training and MMA and all that, blah blah blah. He wore a belly fringe shirt.
This whole outfit.
This whole outfit.
That's out of order.
Like we had got our life checked away. If we came to camp dressed like that, we got checked the hell out.
I'm now serious.
It was bad. Wearing sweatpants, some jogging shoes, a white beater, and then his garment came down like to his midsection with some fringes, and that was it.
Dude had on a crop top.
He had a crop top. He was wearing like a crop top, halter top, fringe belly shirt. Hybrid.
You said.
That's who people take their word from. That's who people take the scriptures from, man. That's out there. That exists.
Good.
That exists. Joshua chapter 24, verse 14. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth. That nigga that was out there with that belly fringe was not serving in sincerity and in truth. He was not serving the Lord. He was serving that kingdom. He was serving that 1 pound in that napkin that he kept.
Good. Right.
He was not serving the Lord. He was not serving Yahweh. He was not serving the Most High in Christ with sincerity and in truth. Now, therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. So again, there's a dividing line in between what we used to do under that old influence, with that old man, with that old woman, and what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to occupy till Yahushua comes, until he come back. We're supposed to fear the Lord in sincerity and in truth. So there's another scripture in the New Testament that mimics this, that mirrors this. This is in the Old Testament right now. We're talking about Joshua, which is also Yahushua. Just for people that don't know the Hebrew like that. Joshua in English from, how would I say this? From their English translation from the Hebrew into English, it's Joshua. From their English transition from English into the Greek, or from Hebrew, no, it's like from the Greek into the English would be Jesus. If you were to trace the names back, it's in Hebrew, it's Yahushua. Just the way that they had translated from the Hebrew into English, and then from the Greek into English. It gets weird, but that's why we have Lashon Kodash.
God, so in Hebrew, if you was to say Yahushua, it means Joshua or deliverer. But you are right. You're definitely right about that. Yeah. But also too, a lot of people kind of confuse that they are the same people.
Right.
As far as reincarnation, Joshua and Yahushua are not the same people.
Right. Right.
But the name, you gotta understand this too. There's more than one Jesus in the Bible. I think you got like 3 or 4. I don't know exact names exactly, but you got about 3 or 4 of them. Just like, let me see. Do we have more than one Elijah?
And all right, so in recorded history.
No, you know what? I scratch all that. You have more than one John.
You do. You got more than one Judas. Judas Maccabeus.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yeah. You got more than one Judas. You got more than one John.
With the same dudes.
Yeah. So the most popular John, right, is John the Baptist, which is Yahushua's cousin. How you find out that's Yahushua's cousin, Jesus Christ's cousin, is because of the whole storyline.
Right.
Of the auntie and the mother. You know what I mean? Elizabeth and Mary. They are both sisters. And then you find out that
it's like they were cousins. I think.
What did I say?
You said sisters. Were Mary and Elizabeth? I think they cousins, right?
Cousins. Yeah, cousins. Right. Cousins. And then you find out that Lazarus in Luke the 16th chapter, that's Yahushua's uncle.
Right. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a family thing, man.
Yeah, kind of.
It's a family thing.
I'll find it out. Anyway. Yeah, so Christ had family and things of that sort, but there was multiple people in the Bible who had the same name as Jesus.
Right.
Also, too, Joseph. There are 2 different people in the Bible, as far as I know, named Joseph. So you had Joseph, who was the right-hand man to Pharaoh, which is way before Christ's time.
My pops.
Right, because Joseph was a son of, Jacob, and Joseph was, Ephraim, Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? Shout out to my nigga Amunga Bar. You feel me?
Cool people. You cool guy.
Right, and then you got Joseph, who was Christ's father. These are different time periods. You feel me? You had not Joshua, you had Joseph, different names of people named Joseph. You had, we just said it, Christ or Jesus, right? And then we have one more.
Judas.
Okay, yeah.
And John. John. You said John too.
Oh yeah, John as well. Yeah. Because first of all, first, second, and third John, that's not all the same person. So there's different Johns and things of that sort.
It wasn't John the Baptist though.
Right, and that's crazy about that. Now, the only time John the Baptist is really mentioned is the book of Revelations, but he doesn't have a book about him.
Right.
He just mentioned in Revelations when he was in jail. You feel me? So yeah. But anyway.
And that's the river that flowed through the Bible that a lot of people kind of skip over, because this is a record book. This is a history book,
right?
Not just filled with prophecies and judgments, but this is a record book. This is a history book describing, everything that we've been through, everything that we're going through, everything that's about to come to fruition, and how we are supposed to deal with it, how we're supposed to deal with each other through this. Because you got a whole group of people out here. You got a whole group of little small hat, curly, they got big ass sideburns, and these little tiny, itty bitty little hats on that are claiming this heritage that we talking about.
Right.
Which ain't got nothing to do with them.
Right.
Because they're like, all of them are like from the tribe of Judah and Levi, I think. Like, all of them. Don't nobody claim Naphtali. I think maybe one or two of them claim Dan. But Dan ain't got a gate in Revelations. You know what I'm saying? So like their version of the records it's skewed. It dismisses the history. It takes into account how they feel about it. Just like the Quran, just like your Christian churches. It takes into account how they feel about it, how they feel this and that and the third should be, but it dismisses the actual facts, the lineage, the heritage of the Israelite nation. You can't be a spiritual Israelite. You can be, for those that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There ain't no spiritual Israelites. You can't be some heathen, some so-called Gentile, and then be adopted in or grafted in to the nation of Israel. You can't be a convert, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Right,
you can't be a convert.
Right.
No matter, like, I'm cold with chopsticks. I'll never be Asian.
Right.
I like sushi. I really enjoy sushi. I will never be Chinese.
Right.
No matter how much of it I eat.
Right.
All the kung fu movies out there, all the manga and anime that you could watch,
right,
while eating sushi with chopsticks in a kimono. I will never be Naruto. I'll never be them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I can't be another people. Because by blood I'm an Israelite. So
right.
This is all I can be. This is all Maccabi can be. Select, so to throw you under the bus too. This is all Maccabi can be. No matter how many mud pies we eat, we will never be African.
Right.
Ever.
Right. That's right.
And we don't eat mud pies. Because it's not part of our culture. That's a them thing.
Right.
So there needs to be that dividing line. There needs to be a very quantitative definition on who is Israel, who are the Jews. You got a nation of people out there that run the media, that run a lot of people's lives, that have the capability to destroy people's lives, because those
Mary and Elizabeth
they were cousins, kind of.
the first chapter, verse 36.
Kind of.
So they was cousins, and then Christ and John.
So Christ and John were cousins. That was John were cousins. Yeah. Mary and Elizabeth were cousins. So like again, it's a family thing. It's a family thing.
Lazarus, the 16th chapter. That was Christ.
That's crazy. I gotta read into that. So like,
that chapter is fire. I don't know. Can't
So now again, you got a lot of people out there again trying to claim a heritage that don't belong to them, ashamed of their own history and their own culture and their own subcultures and the crimes they have committed as a people. Listen, they're gonna be okay. They'll be all right. They got plenty to do to keep them busy and keep them occupied, including and not exclusively set to doing what the hell you're told to do.
Right.
So there's gonna you're gonna have to deal with Israel. The world is gonna have to deal with Yahushua. There ain't no other way around it. Because if it keeps on going down this road, I mean, again, if the pollution isn't enough based off of their industrial innovations, how much more if the cultural degradation of everybody outside of their own doesn't give you the telltale signs that these people are wicked and disastrous to the human race. Like if none of this points, to the fact that this kingdom needs to be destroyed, I don't know what's gonna do it for you. But in the meantime, while everybody else is out there celebrating the death of our people, and in a lot of cases their own people, if everybody's not ready to we're just I got a couple more scriptures and then we're about to end this out. Oh, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? Damn. So little Revelations real quick, 2 verse 9. I know thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. You got a group of people out there that again are culturally appropriating a history that don't belong to them. I think I had structured that sentence right. It don't belong to them. The history that they claiming, the heritage and culture that they claiming don't belong to them. They even know this. They are on record themselves. They wrote books about this. The 13th tribe, the Khazars, I think. Damn, what's the title of it? Yeah, I mean, there's a few different books. You got like the 13th tribe. Damn, what the hell would they call themselves? The Khazars. I mean, the Khazars, but like coming from the Caucasus Mountains. You got a number of books out there. Their own literature, from their records, their acknowledgement, claiming Idumea, claiming Edom, claiming Esau. They know where they come from. They know what their heritage is. They know that they are not the Jews, the Israelites of the Bible. They got the whole world feeling some type of way though, because for the longest time they got away with that. Couldn't nobody tell, especially after the Holocaust, couldn't Couldn't nobody tell some little small hat that they're not the chosen people of God. You couldn't say that to them, because then you'd be anti-Semitic.
Right.
And I was on Clubhouse the other day asking some people, are the so-called Jews the only Semites on earth? Nobody would answer that question.
Right.
Nobody would just come out and say yes or no. I mean, that was a yes or no question. Wouldn't nobody answer that? No, that was just on the Clubhouse platform. Doesn't necessarily, they ain't got a whole lot of weight after that. But you ask anybody, any so-called Jew out there, that's a part of that synagogue of Satan, you ask any of them, are they the only Semites? You're going to get an awkward pause first. It's going to be an awkward, like this is how it always kind of goes. It's going to be an awkward pause first, and then a complete deflection from the answer. They're going to go completely in a whole different direction. They ain't going to answer you for nothing. But it's going to start off with that awkward pause. Now, a couple more scriptures here. We're about to wrap this up. 9:09. Again, listen, ISUPK.com, ISUPK.org. Pay your tithes. Jeremiah chapter 10. Damn, Slocky, could you pull that up in Joshua again? As for me in my house. Mm-hmm. That's the one I think I'd ask them to close that window. Slocky. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2 through 4. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heavens are for the heathen are dismayed at them. Again, the same things that they're worried about there. Their blood moons, the constellations, meteorites, comets, aurora borealis, all this stuff. Jupiter rising, Saturn ascending, and they got so many different things that don't want to mix. Astrology,
Mercury rising,
all that stuff.
Mercury retrograde.
Yeah,
all that weird shit.
It gets weird. Who cares, dude? That ain't got that ain't got nothing to do with who you are as a person. Yeah. It don't.
If I may,
horoscopes.
Yeah, horoscopes.
Yeah.
If I may, it should change every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
So my horoscope told me this and told me that. So it's like this defines your relationships, whether it's like an intimate relationship, and also the relationships that you have with family or friends. It's like, okay.
Your job, your bank account.
All life.
And you can find that in newspaper.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly though, like, when I hear about horoscopes, it's no different than a fortune teller, a palm reader, and things of that sort. It's really much all the same thing. Because people really live their lives based on that.
They live their lives based on what a newspaper article had said versus and now compare that to a magazine article. Compare that to an online article. Yeah. You're gonna have all these different.
You got your Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Just all these famous people.
Who was that one Jamaican sister back in the day? You might be too young for this. Miss Cleo.
Yeah,
Miss Cleo.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yo, her voice is stuck in my head to this day.
Man.
Yeah, of course. Now, you talking about I'm too young for that. Nah.
At first, and Salakia to the sister, I'm trying to throw you under the bus too, but like when I first, the way that Sister Exodus had kind of carried herself, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Yes.
Shout out to Sister Exodus. Go to Exodus gumpowder.com. Exodus GUM-powder.com. Get some of the baddest dental healthcare products.
Hey, her shit works.
Yeah, it works. I gotta re up on my order with her. And she got things for hair growth, some skincare. If you a brother, you got like athlete's foot, something like that. Yeah, I mean, she got you covered, man. Remedy for the soul. ExodusGumpowder.com. Check them out. Shout out to Carl Gatz. Shout out to Kawam. For his beard, I don't even know what to call that. I don't even know if that's a butter, but for his beard spread. Quam. I'm looking at the thing right now. Quam.
Yeah. Out of Memphis.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't say Quam. Brother.
Yes.
Damn, so like you for butchering the names. I ain't got the thing right now to look at, but Quam. Shout out to Adawan Yatazar with so him and Cap Tazariak had teamed up and they got like the beard and hair butter, the beard oil, and then the beard pick, the beard comb. So the Kodash pick, man, it works. It works. You can trust in it.
Oh yeah, right. I definitely already got mine. I got mine already.
So just to cap this off, with the things that are coming up, even though a lot of them ain't gonna claim it necessarily, because the Jewish faith and organization doesn't rock with the New Testament per se, but they are about to make millions and billions and trillions of dollars over Christmas.
Right.
A lot of they are perpetrators of this lie, and they are benefactors of this lie. We are directed, commanded, and ordered to not be dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathens are dismayed at them. Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. What's that sound like to you? When they get ready for Christmas? What's that sound like? Anybody ever go Christmas tree shopping? Now, you already had, for the most part, you got a lot of them already cut down and placed up for you. All you got to do is, pay a couple dollars and you get to walk off with it, throw it on top of your truck, throw it in the back of your truck. Emmett, what's this? Like the blue man. To the brother Emmett, or to the individual Emmett, the blue man, I don't know what that means. The blue man, you ever heard of that? Like the blue man group? No, that ain't all right. No sweat. Verse 4, they decked it with silver and with gold, they fastened it with nails and with hammers, that it moved not. That is like verbatim. If you really, we're gonna have these classes coming up real soon too, discussing the topic of Christmas and the problems that Christmas itself creates. Oh yeah. Hey, shout out to the system Rockapie too for bringing up Adawan Shagapan for the calendars that he prints out. That illustrate all the high holy days. Definitely want to check him out too. So that's he's out there in Yonkers, I believe, in New York. Definitely want to hit him up.
Also, the calendar should be at this upcoming Passover.
So yeah, definitely get ready for the calendars at the Passover. Hit them up on Facebook though. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, maybe try to get you one beforehand. Maybe try to get me one too. I mean, if you feel about it, no sweat, no pressure. But Salaki, all right, we're a little bit over the time. Salaki, but as for me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. Right?
That's right.
We're gonna serve the Lord over here, and we ain't gonna be shy about it. We ain't gonna be ashamed about it. We're gonna stand firm and toe that line. We're gonna occupy till Yahushua come back.
That's right.
And we're gonna do this as a people. We're gonna Zephaniah 2-1 the hell out of this. We're gonna gather together, be a nation out desire, and we're gonna rebuild this kingdom. We're gonna put in work on the reservations. We're gonna put in work in the ghettos and all the barrios. make sure that our people ain't forgotten,
Right.
and to let them know that they got somewhere safe that they can actually turn to, versus all the other options that they've been given, which is primarily drugs and crime and prison and death and suicide. It's like yourself, if I may. It's like, okay, kind of what kind? I ain't gonna fight you. Kind of what kind?
Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord.
If you ain't got, all right, so for the brothers, Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, Nick Cannon, Kendrick Lamar, Ice Cube, all them brothers, all them famous names and voices with all that influence and all that prosperity. What it say? Slightly?
And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord.
If this ain't for you, all right, no sweat. We got it.
Choose you this day whom ye will serve.
Just be clear about it. Just be clear about it. You're gonna have to pick a side. Don't be lukewarm. Like
whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
There's a difference between us and y'all. That's why in the UPK, we got that disclaimer. We are not affiliated with nobody, no organizations. We do not compromise. We do not negotiate with terrorists. We are going to toe that line. If this ain't for y'all, no sweat. Fall back then.
Right.
That homosexual that wears purple that used to lock niggas up for no goddamn reason. The leader of that weirdo ass organization, I don't even want to say their ass name. He was recorded. It's on YouTube. You can find this out too. He's recorded stating that if you're rich and famous, hey, listen, support us behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just drop your money here. Ain't nobody gotta know about it. Yeah. Blah blah blah. That's not how this works. That's hiding that 1 pound in that napkin.
Yeah.
That's putting your candle under the bed. That's burying that 1 talent that you were given.
Right.
When we were told to occupy until you return. When we were told to go flip that. Right. Take this truth and spread it across the board, man.
That's right. Right.
But you got other bastards out there that are going to influence other people to just behind the scenes, this way you ain't got to get in trouble with small hats and you'll be good to go and you can still make your money. Just, kick us, a couple dollars so that, we can continue setting sisters up with heathens and getting murdered. They didn't know where that sister body was for a minute. And that was a New York detective. That's your option, though. Those are your options. Creflo Dollar, TD Jakes, Joel Osteen, and Purple Waffles. Those are your options. And belly fringes. Can't forget about them belly fringes. Or you can synchronize your costume with a different organization. But as for me and my house, no, we're gonna serve the Lord. We're gonna serve the Lord. What's the brother saying? I mean, prisons are fuel stations for the customers seeking this type of fuel, the ones who control humanity. I mean, you ain't wrong, brother. You ain't wrong. And it's like I don't know what your designation might be if you're a brother or sister. I don't want to mispronoun you or nothing like that. But prisons are fuel stations, yeah, for our customers seeking this type of fuel, yeah. The ones who control humanity. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not exactly bullseye with it though, but you're not wrong. I definitely suggest you stay in class. Link up with us if you're in the Twin Cities area, man. Link up with us, man. We around. It ain't that hard to find. You see our covers out there. We're not exactly hiding from the public. We were out in the world. I'm on the buses. I'm on the trains all the damn time in the cities, man. Where we're not Not that hard to find it. So with that, Salaki, with that, we're gonna close up the class. Shout out to everybody who is tuned in. Sister Morocco Pot, the brother, the trooper Kawan Yala, the brother Emmett. You know, shout out to y'all for joining us today. And we're gonna close it out with security announcement. So with that, Ahmad Young, more specifically, means everybody stand. ISUPK security announcements. Rather, ISUPK started out at 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ishur. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department to teach. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, but whatsoever amount you would like. So again, you can still go to isupk.org, isupk.com. If you have the Zelle app, Israelite School, the first name Israelite School, last name UPK. Email ties@isupk.com. If you get the Cash App, $, all caps, UPK Minnesota, get in contact with the school near you. You can make donations. You can pay tithes in that form. Also, just get in contact with the school leader first before you make any moves on that. Upcoming all the convocations, man. We got Hanukkah's about to go down. It's like you said the dates.
December 17th.
December
17th.
But December 17th. Start kicking off at sundown. Kicking off at sundown. Always. All the high holy days, convocations, official, biblical, events like that. Always kicks off at sundown.
If I may, ahead of time Passover, April 1st. Sunday.
April 1st, man.
And then,
Raleigh, North Carolina.
That's right. Damn right.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Man. Shout out to North Carolina, man. Raleigh, North Carolina, it's gonna be something, man. You get your hotels, get your flights, get your gas money.
Right.
So
and then the next day is gonna be Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Right after the Passover. Okay. So keeping that for the next 8 days.
So 2nd of April.
Yeah, kind of. So keeping that for the next, the next week after Passover.
Damn right.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread. So and for Hanukkah too, that's gonna be another week spread to 8 days.
Right. You say again?
For Hanukkah. 8 days spread.
About 7 to 8 days.
Yeah. About a week spread after that. Again,
I'll give an update about that.
And get in contact with the school near you to see about how you can contribute, any accommodations you may need to get met, and how you can be a part of that. It's again, this is stuff that keeps the culture alive. And I was gonna say something else, but I don't think that'd be appropriate. So we'll just continue with. Any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. It means your boots, your shirt, your pants, headband, and or scarf. With that, we'll find your Hakudam, which means turn to face the east. We say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verses 8 through 13. Abanawu, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayat, Samkat, Yahweh, Malakotka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayat, Aisha, Barakaza, Kawak, Hayat, Bashamayim, Natananaw, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Basalakana, Kabawakana, Kasalakna, Kabawakina, Balaa, Tabiana, Banasawan, Abol, Kawashana, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Lakat, Lakwa, Wa'al, Wata Paraka, Laulam, in English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. that will be
that
done
will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread.
and forgive us our debts
Forgive us our debt
as we forgive our debtors.
as we are debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
Lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
deliver us from
For
evil.
thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the
and the
kingdom,
power,
the power,
and the glory
and the glory
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Pray to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem
Barak Lanau.
Rakana.
Wayashal.
Yashala.
Wahabayat.
Rawayah.
Sapari.
Sapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Raba'ah.
Rafa'ah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Now this time you can say the name of the Lord one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on social media, you can type in the name of the Lord one. We'll send the prayers up with you. Israel School.
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. You got it.
So, Israelite School UPK.
It's like school you became.
You became Minnesota.
You became Minnesota.
You became Rez.
You became Red.
You became Milwaukee.
You became Milwaukee.
You became Chicago.
You became Chicago.
Benjamin.
Bench.
Jamie.
James.
Rakapat.
Rockefeller.
Annalie.
And the league.
The McIntosh family.
Max Touch fan.
Raphael.
Right.
All of Israel.
All of Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahushua.
The angels.
Angels.
The generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
The officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Students.
Students.
Assistants.
Sisters.
The children.
The children.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Israelite school you became.
Israelite School UPK.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Sapara.
Sapar.
ISK Minnesota.
Actually became Minnesota.
Kudasayan.
Wadai Zayan.
Tarak.
Tarak.
Mugabar.
Mugabar.
Nagabar.
Nagabar.
Kawanyal.
Wanyal.
Kanayal.
Kanayal.
Barai.
Barak.
Tawala.
Taulah.
All of Israel.
All of Israel. Officer Makagi.
Officer Makagi. Marakapas.
Rakapat.
Rakawana.
Makawana.
Taziyah.
Taziyah.
Azara.
Azar.
Yapa.
Yapat.
Kawa.
Kawat.
All of Israel.
All of Israel. Yakudash.
Yakudash.
Bakar Dum.
Karadam.
The Kaya.
Nakaya.
Bashim Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
Tawad Amun.
Tuaraman.
In English. Lord name Yahushua.
Your name Yahushua.
Now bless us and Israel.
Bless us in Israel.
And the school.
In the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Our loved ones.
I love
In the name Yahushua.
you. And Yahushua.
Thank you, so be it.
And so be it.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Let's say Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth.
and all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Let's do us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses,
Sins and curses.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment and
to
destruction.
the heathen
To the heathen.
that speak against
That
us,
speak against
thy prophets,
thy prophets.
the teachers,
The teachers.
the princes,
The princes.
the priests,
The priests.
Israelite brothers,
Israelite brothers.
and the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses,
Sins and curses.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction.
to the heathen,
To the heathen.
and shake loose
To shake
the
loose.
treasure of the rich of Israel
Treasure rich of Israel.
that refuse to give to the school,
That refuse to get to the school.
to force their riches,
Force the riches.
to enter into thy sanctuary.
To thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses,
Sins and curses.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction.
to the Edomites,
To the Edomites.
and the nation,
And the nation.
and their drug
And
dealers,
the drug dealers.
courses,
Courses.
princes,
Princes.
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood.
all the governments of our
All
enemies,
of those are enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Unlike the synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope,
The Pope.
Islam,
Islam.
Christianity,
Christianity.
Egyptology,
Solid.
militia,
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klan.
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads,
Skinheads.
classical Matthias,
Solid.
the gay
The
movement,
game.
lesbian, movement,
Lesbian.
spies,
Spy.
workers of witchcraft,
Witchcraft.
that's the space program,
Special one.
Army,
Army.
Navy,
Navy.
Air Force,
Air Force.
Marines,
Marines.
Wall Street,
Washington.
open up the internet
Open up the internet.
and the airways,
And the airways.
cable access channel,
Give access to
and radio
the
channel,
radio channel.
convict the spirit
Convict the spirit.
of many of thy people
And thy people.
that seek to stop
To
us
stop
and bring swift
and
destruction
bring swift
to all the
destruction.
heathen
To all the
that
heathen.
stand in the way
That stand in the way.
or try to stop us
Try to stop
from broadcasting your words
broadcast your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let us all the place,
Let us all the place.
cause we go to and fro
Cause we're to and
through
fro.
the earth and consume them.
To the earth and consume.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
The Yahweh shot,
The Yahweh
Michael
shot.
and Gabriel,
Michael David.
down to flying saucers,
Now flying sauce.
punish all the heathens
Punish all the heathen.
that come up against us
Come up against
as we speak thy word.
and speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause we know about all.
that it's the angels that have done.
That's angels that have done.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it spread through the media.
throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole
Cause
world.
it to shake it that come.
Cause shit had that coming.
And then Yahweh shot,
Name Yahweh shot.
thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So to the front. Men of Israel, Madim Shabbat, Mayu, Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakathon. Yazamata. Men of Israel, salute to the sisters that may be around you. Courtesy salute for the sisters. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat. The Mighty Barak. Yahweh Shamar Allah Ta'ala Shem Yahushua. Yazamata. Class dismissed. Hey, appreciate y'all because every point you brought up.
Oh yeah.